Okay, so we have this expression. They want us to make it a single trig function. So how do we do it? Well, I'm going to just make it s and c, so I don't have to write so much. This is c minus c cubed. Okay. What should we do? Well, here's what you want to recognize right here. See how they have a common c? Whenever you see two terms with a plus or minus sign in between that have something in common, what you want to do with that is factor out that c. What goes on the inside? The minus sign, and then whatever works. C times what and c times what would go back and go back. Be 1 and c squared. And the top doesn't change. It's still just sc. Do you see that on the bottom? C times 1 would go back to c. C times c squared would go back to c cubed, wouldn't it? That's called factoring. It's reverse distribution. Okay, now what? Well, if you go to your formula sheet, let me get our formula sheet here. We see, what are we looking for? 1 minus c squared on the bottom. You're getting used to seeing that. 1 minus c squared right there. 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared. So we go, oh, this part right here, 1 minus cosine squared. Well, that's sine squared. So this becomes SC over C times sine squared, right? 1 minus cosine squared. 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared. That's off the formula sheet. So now what? Let me bring it down here. So we have SC over C times S squared. What can we do with that? We can just start canceling. This is SC over CSS, right? S squared is just two S's. And so just cancel. An S with an S and a C with a C. What are we left with? 1 over S. And now can we give our answer that way? Well, no, they said a single trig function. So 1 over sine, remember what that is? Cosecant. So our answer is cosecant of x. Remember that 1 over sine is cosecant. Remember, secant is 1 over cosine, and cosecant is 1 over sine. So when you see that 1 over sine, that's cosecant. That's on your formula sheet also. Cosecant is 1 over sine. So when you get that 1 over sine right there, it's cosecant.